name is McDaniel. We will be continuing our series on the truth about the creation account. Our lesson today will be on the creation of man's unique body systems, lesson 12. In our previous lessons, we have discussed how God, as the intelligent designer of man, took the initiative to create man on the sixth day of the creation account by shaping and fashioning man's physical and natural body from pre-existing elements of the earth. In our last Bible study, we discussed in great details how God created man's nose and nostrils as part of the respiratory system to play important roles in his breathing and respiration, animating man to become a living soul. For this lesson, we will take time to examine briefly the complex inner structure of man's physical body systems. God, as the intelligent designer of man's body, created 11 types of systems that operate innately in the human body for man to function at his optimal best. The following are a brief description of the 11 systems that science states exist in the human body. Our first system is the nervous system, which consists of the central nervous system, the brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system. Please note that God, in his infinite wisdom and manifold power, created man's brain as the organ of thought, emotion, memory, and sensory processing, and serves many aspects of communication and controls of various systems and functions. The second system is the musculoskeletal system, which consists of the human skeleton, which include bones, ligaments, tendons, and cartilage, and attached muscles, which gives the body basic structure and the ability for movement. The third system is the circulatory system, or cardiovascular system, which comprises the heart and blood vessels, arteries, veins, and capillaries. The heart propels the circulation of the blood, which serves as a transportation system to transfer oxygen, fuel, nutrients, waste products, immune cells, and signaling molecules from one part of the body to another. The body carries the cells in the circulation process. The fourth system, which is the respiratory system, we have already discussed. It consists of the nose, the nasopharynx, the trachea, and lungs, which brings oxygen from the air and excretes carbon dioxide and water back into the air. The fifth system, the gastrointestinal system, consists of the mouth, esophagus, stomach, gut, small and large intestines, and rectum, as well as the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, and the salivary glands. The sixth system, the integument system, consists of the covering of the body by the skin, which includes hair and nails, as well as other functionality, important structures such as the sweat glands and the sebaceous glands. The seventh is the urinary system, which consists of the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra, which removes water from the blood to produce urine, which carries a variety of waste molecules and excess ions and water out of the body. The eighth system is the reproductive system, which consists of the gonads and the internal and external sex organs. The ninth system, the immune system, consists of the white blood cells, the thymus, the lymph nodes and lymph channels, which are also part of the lymphatic system, which extract, transport, and metabolize lymph, the fluid found in between cells. The 10th system is the endocrine system, which consists of the principal endocrine glands, such as the pituitary, thyroid, adrenals, pancreas, parathyroids, and gonads, and endocrine hormones that serve a signal from one body system to another for functioning and so forth. Lastly, we have the cardiovascular system, which we will discuss in depth. God, as the intelligent designer, created the human heart, which is an enclosed structure with blood inside of each of the 4 chambers that receives blood into its right side and expels blood from its left side. The blood vessels form a closed system of circulation to and from the heart, as well as to and from all organ systems and tissues of the body. Beginning at the aorta are the vessels that carry oxygenated blood to the organs and tissues, and they are also the vessels of the circulatory system where the pressure of the blood is greatest against its walls. To make a long story short, the forceful contraction of the heart muscle propels the blood through the body. The blood transports oxygen, water, nutrients, hormones, antibodies, carbon dioxide, and other necessary substances to and from body tissues. Blood under pressure causes the valves of the heart to close and create the heartbeat. Blood is also necessary for the heart to perform its mechanical activity. Blood is one of the connective tissues. Though it is very mobile within the cardiovascular system, it consists of a variety of solid elements suspended in fluid. These specialized elements include red and white blood cells and fragments called platelets, which together make up about 45% of the total blood volume. The red blood cells carries oxygen throughout the body, and the white blood cells, which has nuclei, destroys microorganisms and particles harmful or foreign to the body, provide tissue repair, and carry antibodies that resist infection. The other 55% is made up of a strawberry colored plasma that is mostly water. Our red blood cells are the ideal shape for transporting oxygen, which is manufactured and destroyed at an incredible rate. Approximately 10 million red blood cells are made every hour, with the same number being destroyed. Our body contains hundreds of complex feedback loops whose precision and reliability are vital to life. The body has its own built-in thermostat to take care of its heating and cooling systems to keep the body temperature at about 37 C and or 98.6 Fahrenheit. Science states that the average adult contains approximately 5 liters, or just less than 5 quarts of blood. What is so credible about the cardio system is that God, as the intelligent designer, has also regulated the blood so that it maintains the exactly correct rate and output to supply the correct blood flow for both the person who runs and the person who is always sitting down. According to Dr. Philip Bishop, who is a professor of exercise physiology at the University of Alabama, he states that if a person is in average physical condition, his or her heart beats about 60 to 7 times per minute, 93,000 times per day, 655,000 times per week, 34 million times per year, and 2.4 billion beats in the average lifetime. Dr. Bishop also proclaims that the heart of man, from a functional viewpoint, is a miracle of performance. This is amazing information. In addition to this phenomenal information, God, as the intelligent designer, has created the brain in man's body to control all the body systems. God created the brain, which is more complex and wonderfully made than the greatest computer made by man. In fact, the brain is the boss of man's body. It is the control center. The brain controls just about everything we do, even when we are asleep. The brain, which is the body's computer system, computes and sends signals and billions of bits of information to every part of the body to control every bodily function correctly and efficiently. It enables people to form words and communicate, understand and manipulate numbers, compose and appreciate music, recognize and understand geometric shapes, plan ahead, and even imagine and fantasize. No computer can come close to matching the capabilities of the human brain that God designed for man. Only an intelligent designer could create the brain inside of man's body that has many different parts that work together. Of those many different parts, there are 5 key parts of the brain, which are the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the brainstem, the pituitary gland, and the hypothalamus. The biggest part of the brain is the cerebrum, which makes up about 85% of the brain's weight. The cerebrum has 2 halves, with one on either side of the head. The left side is analytical, and the right side controls the left side of the body, and the left side controls the right side of the body. The cerebrum is the thinking part of the brain that controls the voluntary muscles. Behind the brain is the cerebellum, which is below the cerebrum. It is smaller than the cerebrum and controls balance, movement, and coordination. The brainstem, which is small, also sits beneath the cerebrum and in front of the cerebellum. It connects the rest of the brain to the spinal cord, which runs down our necks and backs. The brainstem is in charge of all functions your body needs to stay alive, like breathing, digesting food, and circulating blood. The pituitary gland produces hormones involved in regulating growth, puberty, metabolism, water and mineral balance. The hypothalamus is like the brain's inner thermostat that controls the body temperature around 98.6 degrees. We know that God has made the brain. However, the brain still remains mysterious to science. There are still many things about the brain that science states that they do not know, such as how our brain forms thoughts, how memories are stored and retrieved, where dreams come from, how the brain can act as a future simulator and provide us the ability to plan. Last but not least, Science says that they cannot explain where emotions or intelligence comes from. Dr. Werner Gitt, in Information, the third fundamental quantity, is a reprint from the Siemens Review, volume 56, November-December 1989, stated that without a doubt, the most complex information processing system in existence is the human body. If we take all human information processes together, such as language, information control, deliberate voluntary movements, and unconscious ones, such as information control functions of the organs, hormone system, this involves the processing of 10 to the 24th power bits daily. This astronomical high figure is higher by a factor of 1 million than the total human knowledge of 10 to the 18th bits stored in all the world's libraries. Surely, we should be more than convinced now that God alone created man and designed him with these unique body systems and the brain. It should be obvious to us that non-life cannot produce life. We should fully understand now that the first human life forms were the direct result of an intelligent designer who we know as God, the uncreated creator and the uncaused first cause of the universe. Psalm 139:14 states, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. We know from the Bible studies that God created man as his masterpiece. As the intelligent designer, God in his infinite wisdom and manifold knowledge shaped, molded, and fashioned man from a mixture of chemicals into an exquisite masterpiece that no one can duplicate or clone. Man's anatomy, chemical makeup, complex inner structure, and internal systems should convince us beyond a shadow of a doubt that God is the intelligent designer of man. Science tells us that the skeletal frame of man shapes the body and influences the distributions of muscle, fat tissue, and various hormones, and that body type and composition are influenced by factors such as genetics, diet, and exercise. But it was God who created man with meticulous detail to substantiate his claim as God and being the intelligent designer of man, who knew the importance of creating man with every body and each system for man to function at his optimal best. The intricacy and complexity of these systems only reinforce the fact that God fashioned and shaped man by himself. God had to begin with the internal structure of man first, before he proceeded to form man's frame or outer shell. Man was not the result of an amoebal cell or a burst of sun dust. It should be obvious to us that non-life cannot produce life, and that man did not evolve over a long period of time, like the evolutionists would have us to believe. God alone created and fashioned man. We should be able to grasp that God created man with many interacting systems and mechanisms to maintain the human body's internal environment. Surely, we should be more than convinced that God alone designed man in his complexity. We should fully understand that the first human life forms were the direct result of an intelligent designer who we know as God. Thank you for joining God's Grace Ministries. God's Grace Ministries is a bi-monthly, 24-minute program released on the second and fourth Saturday of each month at 9 o'clock p.m. Please subscribe. You will be encouraged, challenged, and inspired by the Word of God. You can call for CDs for $10 and DVDs for $15 at 231-894-0091. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.